Hello, BookTube. My name is Angela, and I'm going to embark on a 12-hour reading challenge. This was a challenge that Faye from Mystery Date with a Book did recently. I'm going to go ahead and link it down below. You should definitely check it out. She did great. I don't know how well I'm going to do, but it is a challenge. It's not just a 12-hour readathon, it's a reading challenge. The idea is to see how many pages that you can read in 12 hours. I'm a little nervous if you can't tell because it's been a couple of very busy weeks and I haven't read as much as I wished that I had. So spending a full 12 hours seeing how many pages that I can read, we'll see how it goes, but I'm really excited to see how far I can get. My game plan is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This book I have been really enjoying so far. I am on page 84. There is 526 pages. Can I read that many pages in one day? I kind of doubt it, but the goal is to see how far along I can get in City of Brass and how many pages I can read. My game plan comes in that I have some other short books that I have gotten from the library, and I talked about those in my library haul recently, that if I start getting a little needing a break, sometimes after a while you just kind of want to read something different, I can pop over and read A Short History of Myth by Karen Armstrong and Come Tumbling Down by Seanan McGuire. I can hop back and forth between those. But again, this is the goal for today. Now, City of Brass, if you have not read it or heard of it, is about a young woman who is in Egypt who takes advantage of people's beliefs. She does not believe in the spiritual, supernatural world, the jinns, the devas, any of that, but she has no problem with taking advantage of those who do. She will take their money and give them tips and pretend to give them advice to heal them, but she doesn't believe in it, so clearly she believes that she's tricking them. At the beginning of the book, she goes to do a ritual to release or exorcise a jinn from a young girl's body. In the process of that ritual, she discovers that maybe there's more to this whole spiritual world than she believes, and whether she believes in it or not, she's about to find out that she can't run from it. My goal is to get as far as I can through this book today. And again, if I need any other breaks, if I need to try a different story for a little while, I have these two. A nonfiction, a fiction. I talked about these in my library haul if you're curious more about either of them. Okay, 11 o'clock. Gonna have my 11sies, which is like a little tea and snack at 11 o'clock. The hobbits do that, but also that was just a popular thing back in the 1900s. And I'm gonna get to reading really quick. Am I the only one? Does anyone remember the episode of Supernatural with the djinn? That was a blast from the past. I used to watch that in high school, and whenever I heard djinn, boom, that episode just came out of nowhere, and that was a really sad episode, so yikes. But let me know if you know what I'm talking about, please, so I'm not alone. Sucks because I went so long without reading this book that I'm like going back and rereading the other chapter because I forgot. Jaziri and Aanli tribes? Some of these names are hard for me to remember. I have to say them out loud to remember things. Do you ever have that? Does that help you?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Aanli were wealthy people who prized scholarship and trade. Some stuff just happened in the book. Yikes. Quick check-in. I am at about 150 pages of The City of Brass, listening to the newest Harry Potter ASMR from ASMR Rooms. I have to say I am going so slow through this book. It's taking like double the amount of time that I normally take to read. And the reason for that is because so far a lot of this has been backstories. It's a lot of backstory with a lot of names of different types of tribes and not species, but whatever you'd call them, gods? I'm not sure. Beings, maybe, I guess, because they're magical. And there's no pictures, obviously, when you read, so it's hard for me to keep names in my head of what they all are, especially when there's so many. And so far, The City of Brass is taking me so long. I'm really enjoying it. I do love this culture. I love the characters, the main few characters. There's two different perspectives that we're looking at. One of them is the woman that I was saying at the beginning, who is a thief, and the other one is a Deva from the City of Brass, which is actually called Daevabad. So it is almost 4 o'clock. I'm gonna keep reading The City of Brass. I kept calling it City of Brass. It's The City of Brass. I'm sorry. I'm gonna continue reading and I will check in again, hopefully at least in a few hours, and I've made more headway. But at this point, I don't know if I'm gonna even be reading the other 2 books because The City of Brass has been captivating me and I don't want to put it down. I still want to see what happens next. So it might just be a 12-hour reading challenge with The City of Brass, which I am a-okay with. So a few things. It's 10:15. I am on page 315 of The City of Brass. Technically this morning I said that I started it at 11, but then my husband and I watched Bob's Burgers, and I spent some time with him and the cats, and did not really get started reading until probably closer to noon. So I'm gonna give myself until midnight for the 12-hour readathon to check in with my page count. I actually had to go back and read a chapter that I had forgotten, so I actually started in the 50s, so now I'm at page 315. So I've read over 250 pages. I'm not sure the exact numbers because I don't remember what page in the 50s I had to start back on again, but I've read a little over 250 pages. This was a poor book choice for this challenge because, like I said, it's extremely saturated with so many different names and tribes and cities, and they're all fantasy or mythology anyway, and I'm not familiar with them. So it's been very slow going. I should have picked a mystery thriller so I could have sped through it, but I wasn't doing this challenge to try to get a ton of pages. I was doing this challenge to actually dedicate a day for me to try to get through the City of Brass, and I have really been enjoying it. Now we're at the point of the book where the two perspectives start intertwining. The political intrigue has gone up quite a few notches. There is a lot going on with that. There's a lot going on with the history, and we have some more questions coming about. There's over 200 pages left. I don't think even if I stay up until midnight that I'll be able to get through this entire book. But at the same time, well, I know I won't be able to get it done in the 12-hour challenge. But at the same time, I really want to know what happens, and I really want to finish this book. So we'll see. I might just be extending the challenge and staying up later just to finish this book. So wish me luck. Okay, it is the end of the night. It's midnight. Started around noon, so I have officially been reading for 12 hours. It's been a lot, but I did have a great book in the City of Brass. The challenge was to see how many pages you could read, and I started in the 50s, and I ended on page 403. So, around 350 pages. This doesn't seem like anything for 12 hours of reading. But obviously there's breaks, there's meals. You know, you can't literally read for 12 hours straight or you might go crazy. So I feel really good about it. I did not finish the book yet. I will be doing that most likely tomorrow. I'm enjoying it a lot. It is taking a lot of twists and turns that I definitely didn't expect. I thought it was going to be a lot more of an action adventure, and I would say maybe the first half with one of the perspectives it was, but now it's very much political and character driven. The mythologies are fascinating. The characters have a lot of depth to many of them, and I really am enjoying this book. I recommend it. I already bought The Kingdom of Copper, the second book. I bought them both at the same time. I took a risk. I know that's risky, but I pulled this off the shelf at Barnes & Noble and read the first chapter while I was there, and I was so instantly captivated, and the covers are just some of the most gorgeous things you've ever seen. I know that's shallow, but they're so beautiful, and I love this part of the world, their culture, their mythologies, their beliefs, their faiths. And I know these are fantasy, but I know also that it does stem from actual mythology as well. So I took a risk and it paid off. I am really loving this. I can't believe, I have no idea what they're going to do in the last 100 so pages. And then I can't wait to start the next one too. I would say this was a very successful reading challenge. It was a lot less pages than I expected to read, but considering I haven't read very much in the past few weeks, and now all of a sudden I read what would normally be a whole book in a day, I'm proud of that, and I'm glad. So thank you so much to Faye from Mystery Date with a Book for giving this idea. on Twitter is where she posted it a few days ago, and that sparked my interest. But I had already seen her own video, which was great and precious as well. I have to say, if you have stumbled upon my video somehow and you don't follow Mystery Date with a Book, you absolutely should. I have followed her for so long and I just adore her. She's a Hufflepuff. That should tell you everything you need to know. Hufflepuffs are amazing. She has a beautiful dog, Millie, and she's a supply teacher and just overall a wonderful person. So thank you so much, Faye, if you happen to ever watch this, for letting me borrow your idea with your permission. And I hope that anyone else that is interested in seeing how many pages you read in 12 hours would happily do it. So it's a good time. Thank you and have a good night. I'm going to bed now. It's after midnight. I'm very tired.